My name is Kamel. I'm a medical doctor and an epidemiologist. I did my epidemiology in USA, and I also a health economist. I did my Master of Economy in UK, London. Now, I'm 62-year-old person. I did almost 37 years of professional assignment, 22 of them international assignment in North Africa and the Middle East.
So how you see this 7th International Energy Forum here in Mecca?
Well, first of all, I discovered energy issue role and contribution to development when I worked in Africa Union Commission as Director General of Social Affairs. Now, from this time, I mean almost a decade ago to now, I see that energy issue, especially well managed and produced locally, will make a difference and will give this agenda, the SDG agenda, a reality, which means contrarily to the MDGs, which were a failure in sub-Saharan Africa and in poor country in general, we hope that all together, with input from international donor, that grassroots organization like the federation of your organization, my organization, can gather and pool effort, then we make this SDG agenda realistic and feasible and implementable. Energy locally produced and at low cost managed will serve all the other utility, health utility, finance utility, social utility, entertainment are very low, and it will prevent internal migration to the big cities, and from there it will give us a human resource there when we need them. You understand? This doesn't work as a pilot. It has to work in 20, 30, 40 countries, but it starts at a pilot level. But we need faith, and we need people who just believe in what they do and don't just write books or write articles and stop at writing and have a nice upload about. That's the difference.
So, Mr. Kamel, I have a question. That what take you from a medical practitioner doctor towards this renewable energy kind of things? Which take you?
Okay. First of all, it's the question. I mean, many people ask me the same question, but the idea is that it has to do with my personality, because I was not born medical doctor, right? I get it like I studied for it, so nothing prevent me from, with the same brain, with the same spirit, to pursue my quest to do humanitarian things. What take me in Africa Union Commission, I'm not a diplomat, but at that time they needed a top epidemiologist to fight AIDS, which at that time, decade before or more, 15 years ago when I was recruited, AIDS was around 40% in SADC country. 40%, that means 2/5 of the population. It was cutting the pyramid of age at the young group. So, of course, I moved from clinic practice to health, to public health, to community health, to social epidemiology. And of course, you talk about finance, locally distributed like and available like microfinance. You talk about energy, locally produced. These are the key of local development. And if we look to big development of big city, we will kill thousands, millions of hectares of rural area, and then we will be really in trouble. So what make me is good science, logical science. That what took me all the way from medical practice to this, right?
So how you see the renewable energy potential in the Central Asia, South Caucasus and CIS countries? Because this was a very interesting subject here.
No, this is a very good question, and in fact I spent time, because here we have lobby of industrial people that just think about big project. But we need small project of renewable energy multiplied by thousands and tens of thousands, and then Renewable energy then makes sense. If you ask anyone here, Esseghairi people, this country is very rich in oil. I will tell you renewable energy doesn't make sense economically. Why? Because you have 50, 60 years tradition. I was told that it's even a century of tradition, right? Your share showed me something that people were extracting oil here a century ago in a very, very orthodox way, very, very primitive way. So renewable energy makes sense now in the same way than if you are talking about transportation. Sometimes you need to walk, sometimes you need to take a bus. It's much more efficient than to take your car. Sometimes you take a metro underground, and then you find your driver waiting for you or your small plane. That's how it works in transportation. Energy, same thing. You have some part they require oil or gas without carbon, some part, and those the one I am talking about, you need small scale solar energy for small farms from small community that cover all utility and needs, whether it is schooling or health or services per se, you understand? This is what, or desalination, when you need to have desalinate for your water, small scale desalination, you have the sea, you desalinate and you have your water.
The final question is that do you think that there is a conflict between this, the new methods of the renewable energy between the developed countries and the Paris Summit?
And what?
And the Paris Environmental Summit.
No. In fact, if you think about in the absolute terms, renewable energy is the cleanest energy. So it's exactly what the Paris Summit has advocated and recommended. But that's not the point. The point is that some people who've been sitting on the money of fossil energy, oil and gas, would never give up this fortune, even though now the oil is gone by half. They will never give up. They will tell you, I will keep my oil until the oil price go up again. And in the meantime, I will invest in nuclear energy. Let's talk about nuclear energy. People don't talk about it. But this is a component. France has for almost 60 years, since 45, 60 years, yeah, 50, more than 50 years, 70 years, invested in nuclear electricity. Up to 80% of its electricity comes from nuclear. Switzerland, Ukraine, Spain, Canada, Russia, all these people, they have.
No, but the nuclear energy, do you think that it comes into under the definition of the renewable energy?
No. I'm not anymore. I'm bringing nuclear because when you talk about renewable, you are talking in reference or in comparison to fossil, because you talk about Paris, right? Nuclear energy is clean in terms of emission. It has other side of cautiousness, and sometimes you have to pay twice the price for the installation, twice for the prevention of accident. But nuclear produce continuously for thousands of years electricity at low cost once you are installed.
Yeah.
So renewable is good news, is good song, but economically in big city it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. You take a city like Cairo, 12 million people. Are you going to stop all the business because your machine, your wind business doesn't work? How are you going to store?